child left behind, said daddy next in line. Flesh of the tainted, yeah, I say it for the second time. Reppin' time, R.I.P. J. Pesci. Head cap, any move can't.
Yo, y'all know what it is. It's your boy Malik DMG Terry. You are here tapped in at the Hoop Nerd Podcast. All right. This is episode 5. Right. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody that's been paying attention to the podcast. Our numbers keep going up every week, man. We just keep dropping fire. Right. So, I appreciate everybody that stepped in, that tapped into it. It's keeping it going forward and keeping the culture going forward. Once again, this is a podcast about hoop. We talk a lot of things about hoop, what's going on in the hoop world. We haven't really touched on the NBA and all that type of stuff, man, because there's too many programs that do that. So we focus on the essence of the hoop, man. We take it back to the essence, to the nitty gritty. We keep it real, we keep it raw. We don't sugarcoat anything. And that's just how it is, man. That's how the Hoop Nerd Podcast is, and that's how it's going to be going forward. Like I said, man, the numbers continue to go up. We continue to grow. We continue to get better. We continue to develop things to keep the podcast intriguing and make sure your interest is still in full effect. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody, man. Like I said, it's humbling that we continue to grow. It's humbling that we continue to add more viewers and things of that nature every week. So that's dope. I apologize for my tardiness, okay? We usually drop on Mondays for the Hoop Nerd Podcast. I had a lot of coaching responsibilities this weekend, and I've been a little under the weather, so I didn't get a chance to record the content and drop the content. So I apologize for my tardiness. It wasn't on purpose. But like every episode, man, we're going to get started and jump right into it, okay? We always start with the most disrespectful play of the week. All right? I have a funny one for you guys, okay? Now, I know the last 4, they've been real serious, the dudes dunking on them and things of that nature, and that's all cool and all well and done, okay? But the most disrespectful play of the week this week got to be a funny one, all right? And it comes from a brother and sister combination, okay? I'm done talking. I'm just going to show y'all, man. So Big Sister is playing one-on-one against her little brother. He fouling, he hacking, he posting, pivot, spin move, get a bucket, elbows, and one. The reason this is most disrespectful, okay, is because let's look at everything that the sister has to go through to get this bucket, okay? Little brother's grabbing on her, tugging her, elbowing her. She turned and hit him with an old school Shaquille O'Neal elbow to the face. Ball, she gets a bucket, right? That's why it's no disrespectful play of the week. Because she literally little boyed her little brother, all right? Through all the fouls, she didn't complain not once. She didn't sit there and say, stop fouling me, stop grabbing me. She figured a way to get a bucket, right? And that is why this is the most disrespectful play of the week. I'm just saying, you gotta find a way, right? She didn't complain. She didn't say, stop following me. She didn't look at him and say, that's hacking. She found a way to get a bucket. Through the fouls, through the grabs, through the tugs. She said, you're going to catch this elbow, little brother. And little baby, little brother. So she gets the most disrespectful play of the week. Right? Now, before we get into that topic, we got to pay the bills, okay? We have to pay the bills. So, this episode of the Hoop Nerd Podcast, that's all episodes of the Hoop Nerd Podcast, is sponsored by yours truly, the Negro Athlete brand, right? You can find all your Hoop Nerd content, Hoop Nerd merch, Negro Athlete merch here at the NegroAthleteBrand.com. If you just riding the bike, exercising, driving in your car, and guess what? You want to get some real life, down to earth, nitty gritty hoop facts? Why not tap into the NegroAthleteBrand.com, hit podcast section, download the latest Hoop Nerd podcast, and you on the way. I'm just saying, it's easy like that. So, like I said, man, make sure y'all tap
2
into the
years of independence, past life don't even
NegroAthleteBrand.com.
exist, not even.
Cop all your Hoop Nerd merch,
Yeah,
your Negro Athlete merch, or if you just going for the content
universe
and the
be known.
podcast, it's a dope way to get our most content and get our podcast over there at the
2 years of
NegroAthleteBrand.com.
independence.
So there you have it, man. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, all our topics been kind of heated and real fun and loving and touching and feeling. We've been getting to the essence. We've been keeping it real. And a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, Malik, you're talking about the players. You're talking about the trainers. What about these coaches? What about the coaches?" And I had to sit there and I was like, "Well, are you going to touch base about the coaches?" Yeah, we don't hide from nothing at the Hoop Nerd Podcast. Okay? One thing we take pride in is we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it honest, right? We don't sugarcoat anything. We're not going to sit there and just act as if coaches don't have flaws or things of that nature. We do. But there's type of coaches that you have to deal with, okay? So we're going to break these coaches down, okay? First thing we talk about is the spectating coach, okay? We're talking about the spectating coach. People are like, oh, the spectating coach, what is that? The spectating coach is somebody that paid their money to come into this game to observe not the players, but observe you as a coach and what you're doing wrong. Okay? Now, these spectator coaches, like I said, the key is they paid their money. All right? They paid their money. They came in to say, you know what? I want to enjoy the game, but I also want to criticize the coach and what he's doing. So this spectator coach is a fan that's always yelling from the stands, "Coach, you need to do this. Coach, you need to make this sub. Coach, you need to make this player. Coach, you need to make this adjustment," right? And these individuals have the same opportunities that you had as a coach to apply for the job, right? Now, I'm solely speaking on the middle school, high school aspect right now. We're going to trickle up the line to the colleges and the professionals, right? But these individuals come to the game, they paid their money. They came and paid their money, their hard-earned money, just to come to the game to critique you, right, on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, right? And these individuals may have some type of basketball background. They may have some input when it comes to the game of basketball. They may have some distinct knowledge of the game of basketball. But it's easier to make those decisions when there's no pressure on you in the stands. It's easy to say what you would do, what play you will run, what defensive scheme you will run when you're in the stands. You're not pressured in the stands. In the stands, there's no pressure. In the stands, there's no, whatever decision you make in your head and yell out at the coach, it's not going to affect your win-loss record. Now, these coaches don't spend the time of day that individuals that are coaching the program, scouting teams, putting in game plans, right? They're not staying up hours in the night, looking over opponents' strengths and weaknesses. They're not breaking down, dissecting film, cutting clips, sending them to the players, showing what will work and won't work. These individuals are only going based off the current game that they're seeing at the current moment in time. And remember what I said. They distinctly came to the game just to critique you as a coach. That's the only reason they came to the game. See, these spectator coaches, It's just the title that they have. They're spectators and they're coaching. They're coaching from the sideline. I'm sorry, they're coaching from the stands and the bleachers. I apologize. Like, that's what they're doing. So it's easy to say what you'll do where there's no pressure. It's easy to say what you'll do where you have no skin in the game. A win or loss doesn't matter to you because you can't get fired at the end of the day being a spectator coach. You can't. So as spectator coaches, it don't even matter. And then us as coaches that put the time in, like, we don't even pay attention to y'all. Because as much as you would like to critique us and what we should do and what we shouldn't do, you have the same opportunity to apply for this position as I did. You have the same opportunity. We didn't just say, oh, we're going to give him a job. No. There's a hiring process. You put your application in. You put your coaching philosophies in. See, what they fail to realize, these spectator coaches, is it's a whole process before you get to this position being on the sideline. It's a whole process. They don't just hire you because you want to have a job. No, it don't work that way. So just as much as we had to put the work in, we had to apply for the position, we had to have our references for the position, we had to have background checks for the position, we had to put in our coaching philosophies for the position. You have the same opportunity to do the same thing. So instead of you coming to the game to be a spectator coach, come to the game and watch the game and cheer on the individuals that you want to see be successful. Not demoralize and demean the coach that's putting the time, energy, and effort in for these kids to be successful. Right? So yeah, we're going to talk about these coaches, so we label the first one as spectator coach. Spectator coach. Well, if I was there, we'll do this. If I was there, Johnny would be starting. If you were there and you had to make those decisions, you'll be fired after a year. Or you'll quit. Either one. You're going to fire, you'll get fired after a year, or you're going to quit. So understand that dynamic. Understand it. You're going to be a spectator. And you're going to be a coach. Make sure you go through all the guidelines there is to be a coach, submit your application, and see if you can possibly change the dynamic of what's going on. But if not, be a spectator, be a fan. See when things go right. Hit the when things go wrong. We're okay with that. But as coaches, don't try to tell us what we should do. And you ain't never been in this position or predicament at all. You've never had the opportunity to make an in-game adjustment. And then you from the sideline as coaching. Yeah, well, this coach don't know what he's doing. This coach got 20 years of experience. This coach has won numerous championships. And I'm speaking of hypotheticals. This coach has played the game. He has real life experiences. Why wouldn't they know what they're doing, he or she? Why wouldn't they? Like I said, spectator coaches, it's easier for you to say what you would do when there's no pressure upon you. See, the game of basketball and the coaching realm, okay, that's the coaching, not even players. We're taking players out, right? And the game of basketball, from a coaching perspective, is like chess. Every move has to be strategic. to take it more from chess is like boxing. You got to know counters. You got to know adjustments. So from a coaching perspective, that's what we're doing. We're trying to figure out these weaknesses that we see that this opposing team has, as if the same thing they're trying to do with us. Same thing. So yes, it is easy to be a spectator coach. It's easy to be up in the stands and make these decisions in your head what you would do. And guess what? It's probably a 75 to 85% chance. If you was on the sideline and the decision that you make won't work, what's next? Back to the drawing board. Can you make that adjustment? Can you make that adjustment when things don't go right? Can you make that adjustment? When you put something in head in your head, so, oh, this gotta work, this gonna work, and then don't work. What's next? See, a lot of you spectator coaches can't do that. Y'all can't make that in-game adjustment when things don't go right and counter with another adjustment. So again, thank you for your $5. Thank you for your $10. Even going to pro, thank you for your $20. Thank you for your $150, $200, $2,000 to come watch the game. We appreciate that. Appreciate it. But be a spectator and be a fan. You didn't pay to come to the game to be a coach. Right? So we talked about our spectator coaches. Right? There's the family/parent coaches. Now these coaches are amazing. Okay? The families, the parent/family coaches might be, you know, the best coaches that they can possibly be. Right? Because these coaches are solely about my baby. These are the my baby coaches. Right? And the family coaches and the my baby coaches, what we call them, is solely about what benefits my child only. It's not about the team, it's not about the program, it's not about the organization. It's about my baby. Okay? These coaches don't see the negative in what their child is doing. They only pick out the positives that they're doing. Let's think about this. These coaches, the parent coaches, the family coaches, aunties, uncles, cousins, nieces, grandma, granddad, great-grandma, godmom, that all ties into the family coaches. Okay? And when I say they only focus on what the child is doing, I mean that. They only focus on what my baby is doing positive and nothing that they're doing negative. These coaches are the coaches that yell from the stands and only speak directly to their child. So listen to me. They only speak directly to the child and only talk about the coach out loud. So think about that. They speak directly to the child and talk about the coach out loud. We all have seen these family coaches, right? In the game, and they're like, my child's not getting enough shots. Such and such, you gotta shoot the ball. You gotta shoot more. Take it to the basket. Come on, wide open, you gotta shoot that shot. You tell your guys, your kids things to get benched. They get benched doing that. They only talk to their child. They talk to their child. That's what they do. Come on. Such and such. You got to hit that shot. Your team not doing nothing. Take over. Do what you got to do. Get to the basket. They follow you every time. No, they're not. See, the family coaches only see the benefits in their child. It's forget the team aspect of it. And we don't care about the team aspect. We don't care about that. It's legitimately about my baby, only my baby. Everything is emphasis on what my baby can do. That's the emphasis. It's not about team success. It's about individual success when we're dealing with my baby. The main focus is what my child can do, what I want to see my child do. Right? So, like I said, they're coaching their son directly from the sideline, which is also interfering with what the coaches have to say. How many times you guys have seen, or you guys have been the coach, right? To see your kid getting coached by his parents or one of his family members in the stand, looking in the stands at the same time as you're trying to tell them direction. Think about that as a coach. Think about that. You're trying to coach a team. You're sitting here doing your job, what you're getting paid for, your due diligence. For your players to look in the stands while you're coaching to their parents, as at the same time you're trying to provide them and the team with direction. Parents, family members, y'all being a distraction at that time. I'm guilty of doing that as well. See, that's the thing. I can take ownership for things that I do as well. I got a 13-year-old, like my son, my other son, I love him to death. He had a terrible coach one time. Coach ain't know what he was doing. I started coaching my kid from the sideline. I told myself, man, now I'm turning into one of them. Turning into one of them now. I'm turning into a parent coach, a family coach. But what I'm doing is taking the power away from that coach. You entrusted your child to be with this program, this coach, this high school, this organization, whatever it is. You entrusted this individual to take full responsibility of your child's athletic career. You did. You entrusted him. So allow those coaches to do their job. I had to struggle with that as well. I think I know the game pretty well. Right? I studied the game. I played the game at a high level. Recruited the game. Everything under the sun. Right? I did that. But I have to allow this coach to do his job if I entrusted my child with this program, this organization, this school, this university, whatever, this professional team. I have to allow my child to be coached. Because if I continue to throw my 2 cents in and distract my child, 2 things is happening. I'm taking the power away from that coach. My son will be on the pine. It's old terminology. That means the bench. New kids now get the nice little seats with the cushion. We can say that. But I'm taking that power away, and at the same time, I'm allowing my child the opportunity to sit that pine. Because kids are going to be kids. We tell our kids, you listen to me, you listen to your parents. You listen to your parents every chance you get. Listen to your parents. You respect others, you respect adults. Right? So when it's game time and a coaching round, the child is disrespecting his coach because he's listening to his parent. That's what you instilled in them. That's what you told them. You told them, listen to your parents at every chance you get. Listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. You're right. But also, you gotta allow other individuals to coach your child if you entrust your child with them. You have to. You as a parent, yelling from the stands, yelling from, the sidelines, from the bleachers. You're now taking the power away from that coach. Now we're going to a fight within that child. Should I listen to my coach? Or should I listen to my mom and dad, or my guardian, my auntie, my uncle, my grandma? And in turn, dealing with me, your child will be on a bitch. So now you just hurt your child because you want to be that parent coach, that family coach. Now you're on the bench. What you gonna do now? You gonna try to sit here and blame the coach that, well, it was coach's fault? No, it wasn't coach's fault. It was your fault. It was your fault. Right? So those are the family coaches. Okay. Now we go into our realm of coaches, the high school, college, professional. Okay. We'll stick to high school. Okay. We'll stick to high school. Okay. What a lot of people relate to. All right. When you first start your high school season, before it starts, your AD tells you as a coach, you and your program, you need to set up a parent meeting, right? So in this parent meeting, the coaches, pretty much break down to the parents their philosophies, the rules of the program, the guidelines of the program, the expectations of the program, and just pretty much break down how they see the season going and what's the expectations from him as a coach on parents and what parents expect out of them as a coaching staff, right? So when you start the season off as a coach, you're breaking down, this is what my program is. These are my expectations from the parents in my program. These are my expectations from the kids, the players in my program, administration, and then this is what I expect out of you as parents, all right? So we break that down. And one of the key things we talked about is, in our program is, told our parents, allow me to coach your children for the 3 hours that I have them 5 days a week. That's our primary thing that we ask, right? Allow us to help raise your young men in this athletic field for the 3 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week that we have them. Right? For expectations. So when we come in and we put the time and the energy and effort, so I'll take me as an example, okay? You have different type of coaches. I'm the fiery coach, right? I'm fiery. I'm all over the place. Very emotionally invested. I'm a cursor. I'm a yeller. But I also, the last thing I always say to you will be positive. Because I'm a firm believer in coaching that you're going to listen to the first thing I said and the last thing I said. So the most important things I need to tell you need to be in the first couple things, first couple seconds, and the last couple seconds. Right? You don't really care too much about the filler and the meat and potatoes in the middle as a player. Right? And we're going to be honest, right? I learned that early on as a coach, right? Even as a player. I listen to the first thing you say to me. I zone out the rest of it. And then I hear the last thing you say to me. Because you look at it even as a parent, what I just say, right? Hey, your player's attention span is short. Right? We have very short attention spans. right? That's why in the game of basketball, unlike football, you gotta be able to get over it quick, right? Football, you get a tackle, take about 30 seconds to a minute, you can gather yourself, right back on the field. Basketball, you get a turnover, you got to sprint down the floor, try to get a block, they score, hurry up and get it in. The game too fast paced, right? So me, with that time worrying about the meat and potatoes, I need to focus on the first thing that you told me and the last thing you told me. So you act like you as parents, right? Even when you ask the kid, what I just say, right? And I just use the analogy. They always say the first thing you said and the last thing you said. They can't tell you nothing you said in the middle. Right? They hear, I'm going to beat your ass if you. And then you might say a couple things in between. Now go clean up your goddamn room. Right? Look at that as a parent, right? As a parent, you say, they hear, I'm going to beat your ass if you don't clean up your room. They don't hear that. I told you for 2 weeks now you need to clean your room. I've been telling you, you still ain't listening. Right? Now go clean up your goddamn room. They don't hear that. I've been telling you for 2 weeks now. They don't hear that. They heard you say, I'm going to beat your ass if you don't clean up your room. Now go clean up your goddamn room. That's what they hear. So just like players, right? If you miss an assignment, it's my job to tell you, hey, you can't get 2 feet above with that back door. That's how they play it. Anytime you get 2 feet above, they're going to backdoor you. So you got to make sure you're in defensive position. Now don't let it happen again. They ain't hear that. You got to make sure you're in defensive position. They heard that. You can't get 2 feet above or they're going to backdoor it. And they heard that. Now don't let it happen again. They hear the middle. Right? So as coaches, right, we're sitting here trying to develop your child with an understanding and comprehension of the game of basketball. Basketball is like a class as well, right? Us as teachers, we are the expert of the class, right? So as coaches, allow us to be the expert and the teacher and the instructor and the professor of this class, which is the game of basketball. We're teaching this class. Allow your student athletes to be students like they would be in a classroom with their teachers. You as a parent, right, the everyday parent, aren't going to go into a classroom if you don't have any type of educational teaching background and try to teach math. You're not going to go to this math teacher's job and say, hey, I'm teaching your class today. You're not going to go from the back of the room, son, that's the exponent. That's the exponent. You got to cut that fraction up. Divide it by 2. Like, you're not going to say that as a parent. Like, as a parent, that's not what you're going to do. You're not going to run into your child's classroom and start trying to teach a class that you have no knowledge or no education in. Right? Take it further. If you have no type of experience to run a Fortune 500 company, and you're the postal worker in this Fortune 500 company, you're not going to go into your boss and say, hey, I want to be the executive today. What's your credentials? What's your experience? What's your knowledge? Like, those are all the questions that your superior is going to ask. Right? They're going to ask those questions. And you as a parent, you're not going to do that. You're not going to sit there and go in that office and say, hey, I'm running this today. And you have no experience or knowledge of doing it. So don't do that to us as coaches. We have the time, the energy, the effort, the experience, the background to teach this course, which is the game of basketball. This is a course. Right? This is a core curriculum class that we're teaching. We're teaching you our program. We're teaching you our expectations. We're teaching you our rules, regulations, and guidelines. We're teaching you our terminology on things that might be similar to what some of these students have learned before, but it's a different terminology. Every level I've played at, coaches have different terminology on some things that I already know and play things a little bit differently. That's just what they do, right? So, as coaches, allow us to teach our class. Allow us to, teach your student athlete. This is how our course works. This is how our class works. Right? And understand the different type of coaches you will. So, like I said, I'm a fiery coach, right? I'm that coach that's up, animated, pointing, talking, engaged. Like, that's me, right? I'm not for everybody as a coach. But I also learned as a coach within myself who I can be fiery, yell at, and who I have to coddle to get the best out of that athlete. I learned that early on. I developed that early on. Right? I learned some of them I can yell at to get the best out of them. Some of them I had to sit there and talk to them like a 5-year-old kid to get the best out of them. Coaching is about making adjustments not only on the floor, but also off the floor. It's not only about the X and O's, it's also about the mental as well. But also as a coach, it's my job to challenge you to be successful. Put you in positions of being uncomfortable to see how you make it out. Right? So understanding about coaches, I'm a fiery coach, okay? I'm a coach that loves defense. I always believe that my defense to impact my offense, right? I love stops. Right? Let's get a stop. That's all your matchup. Right? Don't let the individual score. He averaged 27, shoot, he better not get 10. I'm that coach that's going to challenge you. Right? I'm adamant. You ever seen me coach and been in any games of mine or learn about me? I'm just, that's just me. That's who I am. Right? And that doesn't mean that I'm always right. Right? I don't mean I'm always right. I'm just engaged differently. Right? I emulate every coach that I have been successful under. Right? I'm a coach that's going to challenge you. I've been challenged by all my coaches in my life. I'm a cusser. All the coaches I've been successful under have been cussers to get the best out of me. So you emulate the coaches that you didn't have that you got the best out of. Like, that's how coaching works. Right? You have your real chill, laid back coaches. Right? Who believe all their work is done in practice as far as preparation, and in the game it's supposed to just flow. They're not firing, they're not standing up, they're not yelling. It doesn't mean they're not engaged. They just engage differently. See, people think because a coach is sitting down or not yelling or don't get technical fouls, that coach don't know what he's doing. Like, that's how dumb some of these individuals think. Like, listen to that. Because you have some coaches don't yell, aren't fiery, don't talk. They're not good coaches. That makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Right? They're just taught different. They emulate what they were successful under. These are the kind of coaches they were successful under. So allow them to coach the way they coach to still get the best out of their players. The hard thing, I'll tell you a secret about coaches. We hate being wrong. We're very stubborn. All right? Very stubborn. You know? A lot of coaches are about self, really. Right? A lot of coaches. Not all. A lot of coaches. but that's what makes us hard workers and successful as well. Like assistant coaches who are trying to go get head coaching jobs, they take pride in, you know, preparing a team to win. High school is about scouting, it's about the scout report, right? High school is like, hey, I did this scout to the best of my ability. We got the win on this scout. I am the reason we got to win, right? That's what some coaches, you know, think, right? I did this, right? Then you got the coaches that we did this. We put together a scouting report. We put our players in a position to be successful, right? I can tell you now, my high school coach staff I'm on, I'm the firing one. My coach now is a legend, Chandler Thompson, not only in Indiana basketball, but in NCAA basketball. He a legend, a pure legend. Look up Chandler Thompson when y'all get a chance, right? A legend. Knows the game off offensive genius. Pro set, everybody under the sun. When he coach, he sit down. Our coaching staff, I'm the fiery one, but I'm also the young one. Fiery, but I'm the young one. Right? But also I come from the East Coast background. Where our coaches are in your face, nitty gritty, standing up, pushing our players, yelling at our players, and we do it with love and respect. Right? So understand, every coach your child has is going to be different. You have to have your children have the ability to adapt to different styles. Every boss they have is going to be different. As parents, we have micromanagers and we have laid-back bosses. Everybody's going to be different. Allow your child the ability to adjust to different individuals in their life. That's how you become to be successful. The same thing with coaching. Coaches, we got to make adjustments every day. Every game is a different adjustment. We can, as coaches, develop this phenomenal game plan for this upcoming game, and then within the first 5 or 10 minutes, it don't work. We got to be able to make an adjustment on the fly. But that's why we are the teachers, professors in this classroom. Allow us as coaches to do that. As much as coaches are for self, we are also humble enough to say, you know what, whatever we're doing, we got to fix it. Majority of us are. We're humble enough to say, hey, we got to fix whatever we're doing. We got to fix it. In order to be successful, we got to change some things. So allow us the opportunity to do that. We aren't always right as coaches. We don't always get it right. We don't. Don't y'all think we know that? But we get hired to handle this pressure. We study the game to handle this pressure. We do the things we need to do day in, day out to handle this pressure. We scout day in, day out. We lose time with our family to focus on this game that we love and this team that we love. So the time and energy that we put in to be successful allow us the opportunity to try to gain the fruits of our labor. Parents, spectators, allow us as coaches the opportunity to coach your child. Allow us the opportunity to develop these young men and women to be successful way outside of these basketball goals and arenas. Allow us the opportunity. Like I said, If you're going to be a spectator, be a spectator. If you're going to be a fan, be a fan. If you're going to be a family member, be a family member. A parent, a parent. Your job is to come support your child. Your job is to come support the organization, the program, the high school, the university, the college, the professional organization, wherever your child is at and performing. Your job is to go be their fan. Go be their supporter. Allow us as coaches the opportunity to coach the youth that we have in our program. Don't let it be a fight of power between parent and coach, because we're always going to lose that battle as coaches. We're always going to lose that battle. And then in turn, it's not going to hurt us. It will in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to hurt your child. Because that child goes from playing to being on the bench. So like I said in closing, our final thoughts, right? I call it the final thoughts, right? Post-game press conference. We're going to call it. Post-game press conference, okay? Coaches aren't always going to get it right. I can be 100% honest with that. We're not always going to get it right. We're not. We're going to make mistakes. But everybody does. Nobody in this world is perfect by any means. Nobody. Nobody's perfect. But just remember, we are the teachers and the professors of this course. Your children are our student athletes. Allow us as coaches to teach this class. In practices, games, film sessions, allow us as coaches to be the teachers, the professors of this course. You, as parents and fans and supporters, that's what you be to them. Be their parent, be their fan, their supporter, their support system. Once we get those lines together and everybody know their role and responsibility, success happens. Success definitely happens. Once again, man, thank you guys for tapping into the Hoop Nerd Podcast, episode 5. John Cena Wave, You Can't See Me. Once again, man, if you wanna know where you can get the content, get the merch at, man, I'm about to run a commercial for you. You can tap in at thenegroathletebrand.com.
Universe be known.
Here at thenegroathletebrand.com, you can get all your Negro Athlete merch, your Hoop Nerd merch. You also can download and find the audio version of the podcast on there as well.
Yeah.
You dig me?
The universe be known.
This is episode 5. This is the Hoop Nerd Podcast, and we out. Hoop Nerd!
No child left behind, said daddy next in line. Flesh of the tainted, yeah, I say it for the second time. Reppin' time, R.I.P. J. Pesci. Head cap, any move can't.